Episode 3 of Dept Q begins with Merritt's kidnappers deciding to turn up the pressure to make Merritt talk. Given she's inside a pressurized tank, they crank up the air pressure to make her crack, because they know someone is finding her. Meanwhile, Akram and Carl are out on the case. They find out about William's disappearance because he was watching the TV when Carl was in press conference. William threw the TV and run away from the house. They retraced the final steps of William and Merritt on board their ferry bound for the island of Moore. Carr was interested to know that why William threw the hat, why they started fight on the boat. Akram said he wanted Hat to have it back. The hat situation is an interesting one when Carl throws Akram's hat because, as we soon find out, throwing the hat in the air with the wind like this causes the hat to land in the parking bay on board the ferry. They looked all camera in parking area that were same as 4 years before. Merritt isn't in any of the footage from the cameras down here either, only William. This coupled with the fact that the Merritt bought tickets in the morning, but it wasn't planned. No one could know William has list his hat, and she would come down to find it here. So criminal gets an opportunity to caught her. Maybe they've been watching her. Someone really wanted her. Looking into Merritt's past brings up some interesting revelations. Her mother was died in road accident. Her father remains drunk. The one who initially attacked William when he was sleeping and caused his head injury is a guy by the name of Harry Jennings, was behind a string of robberies. He's a local offender and broke into the Lingard household, was home asleep where the attack occurred. But Merritt was out. Carl asked about the other guy who beat Harry Jennings. He died trying to evade arrest by jumping off a ferry. While Harry is no use here, they do find a clue coming in the form of Jamie Lingard. Merritt's father is a fisherman who lives as a recluse after initially drinking too much in the past. You honestly think you're going to find her? I don't know if anyone find her, but it'd to be nice to know what was happened. You're curious? I'm not big dark cloud theory. Akram and Carl show up at the man's house, father of Merritt, but don't find him particularly cooperative. Carl asked multiple questions. Why do you call her daughter a right cunt? Because she was at the age of 24. She becomes the guardian of William, but not you. I wasn't given much choice. She wanted to drag me into the court that I was unfit to be his dad. I never said she was wrong because I always remained drunk, even in church. She always did the right things. I was unfit. There's no love lost between Jamie and Merritt either, and despite not seeing each other for 12 years, it's unclear exactly why Merritt would choose to head out and see him now. When you saw the William last time, day after in hospital, you didn't find them even after Merritt was disappeared. You knew she has no one. Too hard. She didn't want to be found. That's you would not find her. We're very good to find the things that don't want to be found. He also reveals that Merritt stole a necklace that belonged to Lila, her mum. That's mine, not Merritt. She took it anyway, just to hurt me, which could be part of the hostility between the two, but there's clearly more going on here than we're being led to believe. Akram is confident that they're going to solve this case, though, convinced that William will be easier to find. Back into the tank, they were torturing the Merritt by a loudy, irritating sound. Speaking of which, William actually wanders all the way back to their old house, which is derelict and a complete mess. He heads up to his old room where he finds a number of drawings of Merritt and his father. Interestingly, there's also one of an aquatic bird called a loon, although apparently the episode makes note of it being a boobree, and as someone who isn't a birdwatcher, I'm guessing this is correct. Back at the station, Rose wants to be part of Dept Q. She's getting nowhere with Moira, and she's sick of constantly shuffling paperwork. Now, Rose has not been on an active case for 2 years, thanks to suffering a heart attack and the police unwilling to put her in the line of fire again. Rose manages to convince Carl to take her on, but only on a trial basis, and only if she can go the whole day without annoying him. Carl gave him a desk to share with Akram. She said, "You have to told Moira about that. Make it official. Let's see how it goes." William dozes off on the sofa downstairs, but he's awoken by a bunch of junkies that have taken over the house. They scare him into fleeing. He becomes frightened and run away from the house. Carl has a theory here in the midst of Rose's crunching and slurping, contemplating whether the case itself may have been botched from the very beginning. Carl asked about Rose's family. She told him, "My father divorced Mum when I was 5. Then he married a dental doctor." "Did you meet him?" "No. Suppose if you want to meet your father after 12 years, then what will be the reaction of your father?" She said, "You want to relate it with Merritt case." "Fuck off. Merritt's father was a drunk. Merritt is totally different thing. What's your opinion about that case?" She went back to meet someone else. Carl said, "Yes. You are teaching me how to investigate the case." The team leader, Fergus Dunbar, was given Merritt's high-profile case despite not having experience in handling anything this complicated. Who was it who made the decision? So how did he get given this? And by whom? Carl decides to have Rose investigate this lead and see what comes up. Work. Carl meets the Burns in court. He shrugs off the insinuation that he could be involved. He demanded the list of those people who was working closely with. Carl also mentioned the threats message which she was receiving. He said it was normal here. Carl mentioned it's not normal in every case, but particularly in special case. She received threats of death. Carl also showed the name of Jesus, but she didn't told him. Maybe she didn't trust him. She was never one of us. No, I gave her more respect and also more opportunity than anyone. But Merritt always wanted more. Merritt has secrets. The answer to where she's now, be above or below the ground, is likely to be found in one of them. That's all I have. Dunbar shuts the guy down and demands that he go through his office to talk further. Akram shows up at the old Lingard house and finds the junkies passed out downstairs, along with the drawings that William uncovered. Akram questions the junkies, and they recognize William's picture. After a bit of pressuring, Akram finds out that he's run up the road. Naturally, Akram and Carl show back up at Claire's place, having traced his movement on CCTV. They found that he's actually out in the shed. William hands over the insignia of the bird and also a sketch of a man wearing a hat sporting the same symbol. Apparently, William saw this symbol both on the ferry and at home. Flashbacks later in the episode confirm as much, with William spotting a man at the window watching him and Merritt one night. Carl heads back to see Hardy, who has read through the file and has theories of his own. He believes this is a crime of opportunity, and Merritt simply bumped into the wrong person. Hardy wants to help out, but he needs a computer in order to dig deeper here. Moyer talked to Carl that your assistant is working like a cop. Yes, he was a cop in Syria. He's good and intelligent, but this is not Syria. Okay, I need one laptop for Akram. Carl's requests fall on deaf ears with Moira, though, especially when she brings up how his therapy sessions are mandatory and not attending is a bit of a problem for them. Rachel is inside her office and alone. She brings up his panic attack, having seen the press conference and knowing there's more going on here. Back in the basement, Carl sends Rose out on assignment. She's to head back to more tomorrow. William was beaten by Harry Jennings during the robbery, and chat up the local officer, Cunningham, and find out about the case. He gives no illusion over why he's choosing her, given she's a woman and can sweet-talk her way into getting the job done. We look William that he was drawing the sketch of someone who had kidnapped Merritt. On another side, we see that Merritt also scratched the medical report page where we can easily see the picture of Bird which William has drawn multiple times. She found that there's written LH, why are you here? Before she leaves, Rose looks over the evidence and checks out the aquatic bird, which she traces back to being a boobry. As fate would have it, Boobry is also the name of the boat outside the Lingard home in Moore during the robbery, so it would appear that everything is connected.